Good morning. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, kindly type one in the chat box. Can you hear me? Type one in the chat box if you can hear me. If you can hear me, type one in the chat box. If you can hear me, type one in the chat box. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, all right. So, Brainy, you are around? Okay. So, I hope everyone is doing well. So the last month was really good. Last month we had a nice and we had a good week so far. Like it was only 1 week that I didn't take a trade, but the rest of the weeks were very well. So I'm hoping May to continue like that. And last week, for instance, taking last week for instance, back to back wins. So it tells you that the system is working, the strategy is working. So trading is all about experience and doing it for a long time. You get it. The more you do it for a long time, the more you see what works. Okay, the more you see the pattern that mostly or usually plays out. You get it? So you need to keep on doing the same thing. You need to keep on doing refining. If you lose a trade, keep on refining. But some people think like the moment you start, you have to get it up front. That is not how trading works. Trading is like, I see it to be like playing football, or maybe it's like an athletics of the performance game. You see, with the performance game, if you listen to the performance, those athletes, those footballers, and those who are good at what they do, if you listen to most of their podcasts or most of their interview, you get to understand that they practice almost every day. Okay, I always like using this guy as an example. The late Kobe Bryant, I used to listen to him when I started out my journey. If you listen to him, you are going to understand what it means to be good at something. You get it. You need to be obsessed, and especially if you listen to Cristiano Ronaldo too. For instance, he trains like crazy. He trains every day, every single day, and he's very disciplined on what he does. Okay, he's very disciplined when it comes to his work ethics. He's very disciplined. Training is the same thing. Like I think I'm in the best position to advise you in trading. If you are finding difficulty, I remember those times when I started out, for instance, when I come to the chat, I even get scared because I know like this thing, I don't even get it. But I had the belief that one day things is going to work out. I just kept on doing it. But one thing that kept me going, especially the reason why a lot of people mostly give out early, is because they started big. If you started big, you get discouraged and you end up giving up. But if you take it slow, yesterday, as I was telling Brainy, for me, if you ask me how much have I lost in trading, I'll tell you I've not lost much in trading, because when I started out, I embraced education, I embraced knowledge. So I wasn't going in big. I wasn't even, sometimes I remember some time ago, I traded demo for more than a year. I traded demo for more than a year. So for me, some people say, "Oh, I've lost like 30,000, 10,000." For me, I've not lost big in trading, because I understand I have to get it before I will go in big. That is how I treated trading. So the knowledge was very important to me. So if you're listening to this performance, those performance games, the participants, you understand that you need to you need fucking obsession to be good at what you do. You need to train. The reason why Cristiano Ronaldo is good at what he does is because his work ethics is more than his colleagues. He really works hard. If you're listening to Kobe Bryant, the one who died, the late Kobe Bryant, you understand that his work ethics, even when his colleagues are on vacations, his colleagues are on holidays, he is still practicing. You get it? He's still practicing. That is how trading works. So for me, I practice every day. I have to make sure I've added it to my routine. I have to make sure I practice my moves every single day, so that when I see it on the chart, when we are trading live and I see it, I become very confident to execute. It's the same thing. If you continue listening to them and you understand how to be good at something, if you want to be good at something, you need to at least practice it like 2 to 3 hours every single day. There was no single day I've not watched the chart since 2018. I got exposed to trading Forex. There was no single day on I don't remember. There was no single day I've not watched the chart. Okay, no matter how busy my schedules are, I will still analyze. I will still be present at my active market section. I will analyze on my phone. You get it? That is what you call obsession. That is what you call you want to be good at something. But some people just like, I don't know. Some people just take it like it's something simple. Trading is though simple, but it's not easy. You get it? It's not easy. So you need to practice, because this game, I don't think there's a work that can be compared to the financial markets. There's no work that can be compared to trading or investing in the financial market. No any other work. I'm not sure. Because this thing, if you get a nice setup, it can give you like $10,000 within a day. It can give you like $1,000,000 based on your account size. So do you think there was any work that can pay you like that? No, I'm not sure. I don't know though if I stand to be corrected if you have something of that sort out there. But I don't think something of that sort is there. You get it? So you need to really, really take it seriously. No matter, even if you are not seeing anything, like if you are not seeing results now, I always advise, if you are not seeing results, the best option or the best way to go by trading is what? Just take it slow. If possible, trade demo. You get it? If you are losing money too much, find something doing, have work doing. Okay, have additional source of income, have something doing. Trading shouldn't be your source of income if you have not figured it out, but your focus should be on the knowledge side. Acquisition of knowledge, acquisition of knowledge, acquisition of knowledge. That should be your focus. Give yourself like 2 years, 3 years maximum, and it should be what you have to be actively on the chart. Give yourself that time range. Trade demo, practice. I bet you come to me and give me testimonial that advice I gave it to you is working. And you are fortunate someone who is also active on the chart every day, showing up. So if you keep on following me, with time you get to understand that things are becoming easy. You are analyzing it, the market is playing out easily, especially when it comes to my daily buyers. For instance, I didn't start using structure. I remember those times when I'm determining daily buyers, I use, if the following day candle close bearish, that means what? My daily buyers is going to. So I've explored, you get it? I've explored, and finally I've come to conclusion on what works. Last week I took like 4 trades. None of them hit stop loss. All went in my favor, and some break even. You get it? So it didn't start like that. So I've really, really improved. So keep on showing up. That's the best way I will give it to you this Monday morning. Okay, never be envious of anyone. Just focus on your lane, focus on your crafts. Never envy someone who is already seeing result, because the person has already paid his price. You get it? The person has already paid his price. So don't envy anyone. Keep on your grind. Keep on like focusing on your grind. Never envy, never hate anyone. If the person is successful than you, never hate. Just learn from the person. That is the best way to go by, and keep on your grind, and surely things is going to click. 2 years to come, 3 years to come, things are going to click. It doesn't matter you didn't start early. Some people will start early and later they will even give up. So even if you don't, the most important thing is what? Your fire not dying. That is the most important thing. Just always, that's what I always hope for. My fire shouldn't die. Because if your fire dies, that is when everything ends. But if you keep on grinding, if you always have the motivation to keep on grinding, one day, I bet you things are going to. There's no way you are going to work on something for so long if you are following the right path. There's no way you are going to do something for a very long time and you will not see a result. Nature is going to reward you. Nature is going to find ways to reward you. So those who have joined my bootcamp, I remember when it comes to even drawing my lanes, I used to watch this guy on YouTube. I'm watching him live and he's trading, he draws this zone and those. I don't get anything. Sometimes you see he'll draw it over here, sometimes he'll draw it over here. How is this guy doing this thing? I don't get it. But I was just coping, learning, just watching. And nature revealed something to me that I was even surprised about it. And my way of identifying the zone is like the market respects it like magic. You get it? I didn't learn it from anyone. I just sat one day thinking about how to be good at the chart, and it just came. You get it? It just came. So nature will find a way to reward you. Nature will always find a way to reward you. So keep on your grind. Keep on doing it. Keep on doing it. Nature will reward you. You get it? Nature will reward you. Never give up. That is the best advice I will give it to you. All right, so let's move on to the chat this morning. So on the chat this morning, I'm seeing some opportunities, but you go to the chat and just identify them and be monitoring them when the time is due. Because as I've already said, I think today is bank holiday. Today is bank holiday. Today is pound GBP bank holiday. Okay. GBP bank holiday. So let's see. So on Monday, 5th May, so we are in a new month. So this new month, we are all praying and hoping things are going to work all right. Things are going to work fine. But the most important thing is what? You need, if you are not having a system, this is the time you need to what? Find out, or this is the time you need to work on what? Finding something that works for you. And those who are having a system that is working for them, especially that's worked for you last month, this is the time you need to be disciplined and continue repeating the same process. Okay, so if you have done something that has given you like $1,000, you've given you like $10,000, why do you have to change it? Okay, you just have to scale so that your income is going to increase. Okay, so it's the same thing in trading. If you did something last month that gave you a lot of wins, that gives you like that made you ended the month in profit, go back again and keep on repeating the same process. Don't change anything. The only thing you are going to change now is your loss size. Okay, keep on repeating the same thing. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Keep on repeating the same process. Keep on repeating the same thing. Okay, and now what you have to aim for is to what? Is to increase your returns or your revenue. Okay, maybe if last month you ended up $5,000, you closed the month $5,000. This month you need to aim for closing like 7,000, 8,000, or times 2 of what you did last month. But I never change the system or never change the strategy. That is the most important thing. Okay, so on Monday, 5th May. On Monday, 5th May, let's see the economic calendar. So the Asian session has passed. Let me refresh the data again. Okay, so I think we had CHF, we had CPI on CHF 6 o'clock, but I think they have all passed. So at this moment, we are having bank holiday, the GBP bank holiday. We're having some news on euros. We're having some news too on ISM PMI. Okay, that's going to be around 2 p.m. Okay, so that's it for Monday. So you're having GBP bank holiday this morning. So that's it for today. And let's see, this week is kind of calm week. On Tuesday, we are not having any high impact news. So let's see the ISM, the PMI news and see. So they are expecting more than 50%. So that means the dollar is going to appreciate in value because they are expecting more than 50% of the threshold. Most of the times, if it is more than the ISM, okay, if the purchasing managers index, so this is like a survey that they ask the managers about how they are thought about the economy now. Okay, so they mostly set a threshold. If it is above 50%, it is what the economy, it means that the economy is doing well. So they mostly ask them about maybe how sales is going, how maybe like inflation, about those things about the economy. Okay, so if people vote for more than, if people are speaking something positive about the economy and it's more than 50%, that means what the economy is performing very well. But if it is below 50%, that means what the economy is performing very well. But at this point, they are expecting 50.2, even though it is lower than the previous number, but it is still above the threshold of 50%. So I'm expecting the dollar to be good, or the dollar to appreciate in value. Okay, the dollar to be appreciating in value. And if you look at Tuesday too, for instance, Tuesday you are not going to be having any high impacting. So this week is kind of calm and it's cool. Even NFP week, you were able to get good setups and a good trades, and you made some money in NFP. I remember those times. NFP week, it's kind of like you don't get trades and those stuff, but this times, like, the market has really been blessing me. The market has really been doing well. Like, it has been presenting nice opportunities or nice setups. So we give thanks to God. We give thanks to our hustling. Okay, so Wednesday on 7-2, we are going to be having. Okay, so we're having FOMC this week. Okay, so this is an interest rate. So we are going to know whether they are going to cut interest rates or they are going to hike interest rates. So this week too, we are having FOMC. So on Thursday too, we are having interest rates. So this interest rates mostly on the pound are the ones that am mostly interested on. This interest rate on the pound. So we are going to see how it's going to happen. But mostly I don't trade like high impacting. But all the high impacting, the ones that I'm mostly interested on when it comes to like the high impacting news are the GBP. Mostly the GBP news I'm mostly interested in their interest rates, okay, because it mostly doesn't, like, we don't see more of the whipsaw, like the market will try to move up and later it will come down. Most of the times I don't see something of that sort when it comes to GBP. I mostly don't see something of that sort on that. Okay, and at the same time, we're going to be having unemployment claims too as well. Okay, so on Friday too, so we have like minor high impact news, but let's see how it's going to go. We are going to play safe. You know how to go by them when you're having high impact news too. So let's see how it goes. So first of all, let's start with gold. I think I'm seeing opportunity on US 32 as well, but this is the indices, so I don't trade the indices, the commodities. So let's see how it goes. So moving to the monthly time frame. Okay. Moving to the monthly time frame on gold. If you look left, there was no price action. There was no data to your left. So if you have followed me for long, you will notice that I've never like massively or significantly changed what I do. It's mostly the same thing ever since. From last year, I've done the same thing. A lot of people can't do something for a very long time. That is the problem. A lot of people can't do something for a very long time. That is the problem of many people. You have to do something for a very long time. That is when you will see results. So on the monthly time frame, there was no data to your left. Okay, there was no data to your left. So gold has gotten to that like price level that it hasn't gotten there before. So if you look left, there was no history. Okay, there was no history. So trading is like lottery. I don't know if you're in Africa, for instance, those lotto forecasters. If you see how they mostly forecast the numbers that is having a high probability of playing out, you see that they look at the past numbers that played out to make their decision or to make analysis. It's the same thing in trading. Trading too, we use past history, we use past results, okay, to make decisions. That is the most important thing. We use past histories or past price to make decisions. That is what we also do in trading. Okay, so all these things has already happened. All these things has played out. So this is the current market price. So looking at the weekly time frame on gold, boss, the screen has done what? Okay. All right. It seems like I'm showing something different. Is it okay now? Is it okay now? Yeah, okay. All right. Thank you, Bernie. Okay, so As I'm saying, so the most important thing is what you need to check the various reactional levels. So there's no like as in levels, pivotal point. That is what you are looking for, because mostly price is going to what react on those levels. So we are going to be looking for those levels first before we check the trend. So looking at the monthly time frame, this one I'm not going to what plot this level. One thing you need to understand is what the reason I'm not going to plot this level is what this level, this candle hasn't closed yet. This is the fresh month candle. So one thing you need to understand is what this candle, as it's moving down, it can flip. Okay, so this is not a valid resistance level. You get it? This is not a valid resistance level, because as this candle is ongoing, it can just flip. Okay, it can just flip. So this is not a valid level. Looking at the weekly time frame, so we leave this one open. We are not going to plot any level over there. So looking at the weekly time frame, because mostly when you are drawing your levels to, or if you are identifying your levels, if you are identifying your levels, you need to make sure the levels that you are identifying are close to the current market price. That is the most important thing you have to always be looking for. It should be close to the current market price. You get it? It should be close to the current market price. So looking at the resistance levels, so this is, you see, this is the current, the heading line is the current market price. So currently price is what approaching this level. You get it? Price is approaching this level. So moving to the daily time frame, so this is where we are going to be checking the trend. So looking at the trend at the daily time frame, price is what? Price is currently a downtrend. So as I've already been telling you, if you are starting out and you are confused on how to identify the trends, okay, trading is like examination questions. Trading is like trying to solve a puzzle. You get it? Trying to solve a puzzle. If it is very complex, don't worry yourself. Reshuffle the thing and do it again. Okay, in examination, if you see, that's why they give you options. Okay, maybe 5 questions, choose 3. By all means, one of the within the 3 you get something that you can solve. At least even if you solve 2, you can. If you solve 2 and you do it well, you get your pass mark. Okay, it's the same thing in trading. Some people try to solve every question. Trading is like a puzzle. Okay, not all the puzzle that you can solve. So if you see an instrument, or if you see an asset and it is kind of confusing, don't force it. Move to another thing. Okay, so you find something that is simple, that is very easy for you to identify. Some of the structures are kind of confusing, even for me that I've even done it for a very long time. Some of them are kind of confusing, so I don't force myself in on something that is kind of confusing. So if you come to the chart and it's kind of confusing to you, just allow it. Okay, move to other one. You're having a lot of instruments, or you're having a lot of assets that you can trade, move to the other one. Okay, so if you look at the gold structure, for instance, I know it's a downtrend, but it's kind of confusing. Okay, it's kind of confusing. So this is where we had a shift in there was a shift in a change in trend over here. We had a change in trend over here. Change of trend. So there was a change of trend over here. Price pulled back, make a consolidation. So let me plot it well for you at the daily. Oh wow. So we had a weekly level over here. So looking at the daily time frame, so this is where we had the change of trend. Okay, there was a change of trend over here. Price pulled back, consolidated, and it moved down. So the trend is a kind of a downtrend. So this is like people call it maybe ascending or descending triangle, but this is like a wedge. But these things are they are not important. Just focus on your lines. Okay, this is like a wedge. So price just pulled back over here. So at this point, I'm waiting for a pullback on this one. So as I said, the daily time frame trend is kind of very complex at this point. It's kind of complex. So if it is complex, just forget about it and move to the one that are simple for you to identify. So the daily time frame is an uptrend, a downtrend. Let's look at the H4 time frame. So the H4 time frame trend is also a downtrend. Okay, so you have to understand that price was in a downtrend, pullback. So there was a shift in trend over here. This one made it what, an uptrend, just pulled back, broke above. So this is what, an uptrend. We had a shift in trend to over here. So this is where we had the shift in trend. So there was a shift or a change of trend over here. Okay, there was a change of trend over here. So the trend shifted over here. Okay, price has pulled back over here. So let's see how it goes. So it's currently making a pullback. Okay, it's currently making a pullback at this point. So price is making a pullback. So if it is making a pullback, this is the level, this is the last level you're expecting price to retest for it to what, maintain this downtrend. Okay, this is the last level you're expecting price to what, to retest for it to what, to maintain this downtrend. So at this point, price is currently sitting on this resistance level. Okay, so what you are waiting for, you can be looking for an entry at the lower time frame, because price is currently what, on this level. So if you get price breaking below this one, we can go in for what, a sell. Okay, if maybe the 30-minute time frame close below, we can go in for a sell. We are not interested in any buys, because the daily time frame trend is what, a downtrend. H4 time frame trend is also what, a downtrend. So we are looking for a sell, not a buy. My bias for gold this morning is a buy. It can change. If this H4 candle close, the trend can change towards an uptrend. That is when I will be looking for a buy. But at this point, I'm not interested in a buy at this point on gold. I'm interested in a sell. So let's look at the economic calendar and see what is happening. So let me look at the economic calendar and see what's happening. So let's look at news and see what Trump is saying. Trump rules out removing Powell as Fed. Wow, US President Trump dismissed again the possibility of removing Federal Reserve Chair, who will serve until 2020 during a wide-ranging interview with NMC meet them. Okay, so I think it's good news. So like there was this news that Trump is trying to remove the Fed chair. Like it's like maybe a central bank of the head of the governor of a central bank. But at this point, he was interviewed, and I think the question of that sort was asked, and he said he's not going to remove anyone. Okay, so I think that was not. Trump plans 100% tariffs on all movies produced overseas. So let's see. All right, so as I'm saying, I'm not looking for a buy, I'm interested in a sell. So if maybe we get candle closing below, okay, if the candle closing below this one, that is when you are going to be looking for a sell. But at this point, for me, my buyers, I'm not interested in what? I'm not interested in a sell. I'm not interested in a buy at this point. So I'm not interested in a buy at this point. So I'm looking for a sell on gold. So I'm waiting for price. If price close below, that is when I'll be looking for a sell. Okay. So my bias is whatever. Unless maybe the H4 close above. If the H4 close above, that is when the trend will shift towards an uptrend. Then you'll be looking for a buy on gold. But that will be after 9 a.m. That will be after 9 a.m. So after 9 a.m., if something of that sort happens, then you'll be looking for a buy. So I think I saw a trade opportunity. So those who trade indices, there was a trade opportunity on what? US 30. Okay. US 30, if you look at the daily time frame, I think we don't have any rejectional levels. Okay. So we had the rejectional levels. There was a reactional level. Sorry, not rejectional. There was reactional levels at this point. At the monthly time frame. So these are the reactional levels, okay, at the daily time frame. At the higher time frame. So these are the various reactional levels at the weekly time frame. So if price is coming down, I think this has made ABC. So if price is coming down, so these are the various reactional level. If price is coming down, we're expecting price to come to this level. But looking at the daily time frame, price is kind of what? The daily time frame trend is what? An uptrend at this point. Okay. The daily time frame trend is out an uptrend. Price just broke out, expecting a pullback on this one. But we have a daily reactional levels too at this point. Those daily reactional levels. So if price is coming down, we are expecting price to what? Pull back on these levels. We are expecting price to pull back on this level. So it is looking good for US 30. Okay. It is looking good for US 30. So price has created this support over here. So I'm expecting US 30 to continue buying. It has even started. So now the entry would be, if this, so you're having like 25 minutes for the 30-minute candle to close. So if the 30-minute candle close, I think it's going to be a nice buy, and the next one flipping, it's going to be a nice buy, because this is like kind of perfect entry setup. The H42 has given us what? A bottom wick. Okay, the wick has been created, very nice one. It has broken the high. Okay, but one thing about US 30 is what? You need to check the timing. It mostly moves during the New York Stock Exchange. So this is stocks. This is US stocks. Okay, this is US stocks. So it's mostly the US stock opens around the New York Stock Exchange session. Okay, so it mostly moves during that time. But I've seen times where lending session it's moving. But since I don't trade it, I don't know whether those times volume, like as in spread increases or what. I don't know. I don't trade the indices, so I don't know much about how it works. But it mostly moves during the New York Stock Exchange session. So you will be keeping an eye on US 30 and see, because it's also it's really looking good. Okay, so if you take a buy over here, so this is like good. The way the pip value is also big. So if your account size is very small, don't try it on US 30. Okay. So US 30 is looking good for a buy. So the zone is going to be like 2,300 and 2,300. Yeah, so the range is very big. So if it gets a minor, okay, if you get internal support creating internal support forming over here, okay, that if the 30 minutes close, internal support forming over here, I think there will be a nice buy for US 30. So the stop loss supposed to be below the previous structure low. So this is going to be the target. Okay, so first let's wait for the 30-minute candle to close to give us the support. Okay, maybe, because one thing is what I've already been saying it over here, that if you are taking a buy and the lower time frame candles are giving you bearish candle, wait for what? A bullish candle to form before you take it. Okay, because most of the times what happens is what? On the higher time frame, you will see a long wick like this. If you see a long wick like this tells you that this is a pullback. Okay, this long wick, if you see a long wick like this, okay, all these things, all this wick, this long wick is what? An exhaustion. Okay, when you talk about exhaustion, like maybe buyers have lost to push price over time frame, this is what you are going to be seeing. You are going to be seeing what? Bearish candles. You are going to be seeing bearish candles. This is what you are going to be seeing. This is what you are going to be seeing when you move to the lower time frame. Okay, so when you move to the lower time frame, this is what you are going to be seeing. So if you see something like this, let's say at this point the high time frame is confirming to us that we need to take a buy, so that's fine. We need to take a buy, fine. But if you move to and we can't take an entry at the H4 time frame because of how the candle is looking at. So if you want to take an entry and now the candle is presenting to you bearish candle, wait for confirmation. The confirmation is going to be, let the market give you a hand. So if the market gives you a hand, first hand, like maybe a bullish candle like this, okay, if it gives you a hand like this, it is signaling you, it is telling you that what price is about to take off. So the moment you get an entry confirmation, price breaking the tip, that is when you take it. Okay, so if you see a long wick at your analysis or your focus time frame, don't take it. Wait, go to the lower time frame, wait for a pullback, then you take it. So at this point, what you are going to be waiting for is what? Let's wait and get a confirmation. That's the bullish candle. Then what? You look for a buy. That is what mostly I enter trades. Okay. If you don't wait, if price is what? It's like trying to catch a falling knife. The knife is already falling, and you are trying to wait for the knife to land, wait the knife to fall before you try to catch it, because knife is sharp. Okay, it's like a two-edged distance. It's like a sword. It can cut you. So you have to wait for it to fall. So it's the same thing. You want to take a buy. Price is falling. Price is falling. Why do you want to take a buy? Okay, wait for confirmation. Let the markets give you a signal before you take a buy. So let's move to, so you are done with, so Nasdaq, as I said, let's see the H4. So Nasdaq, if it closed very bullish, you can go in for a buy. So BTC, it's kind of BTC is kind of not presenting something better for now. Okay, so when it comes to the currency pairs, so these are the ones that we might take a trade on it this morning, but we are waiting for some confirmations before. Yeah, so looking at EuroCAD this morning, let's do our top-down analysis on EuroCAD. EuroCAD is giving a nice opportunity, a nice trade setup on. So moving at the higher time frame, these are the various reactional levels. These are the various reactional levels. So this is also a reactional level. These are the various reactional level. So let's move to the weekly time frame. So moving to the, let's make sure the line is, let's make sure it has touched it exactly. Okay. So moving to the weekly time frame, moving to the daily time frame. So looking at the daily time frame at this point, the daily time frame trend is what? The direction of the market is what? A downtrend. The direction of the market is a downtrend at this point. You get it? The direction is a downtrend. The direction is what? A downtrend. So we're having this key level over here. So there was this key level over here. Okay, so looking at the daily time frame, there was this reactional level over here. Yeah, good morning. All right, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, so as I'm saying with Euro card, so the daily time frame has formed this resistance over here. So looking at the H4 time frame, yeah, so the H4 time frame has created this nice resistance to over here. Has created this nice resistance over here. Yeah, so at this point, what we are waiting for, as I indicated, I don't like taking trades on Monday morning. And one thing is what? So this same trade setup is the same thing that formed on last 2 weeks or so? It formed on last 2 weeks on GBP card. The same thing. It's also closed below. Yeah, last week. That was last week. It's also closed below a daily zone at this point, and price flipped over here. So this one I took it on Friday. This trade I took it on Friday. So this one created this one over here, and price flipped. You get it. So it's the same thing over here. It's the same thing that is forming over here. You can see the H4 time frame candle closed below over here, and I've seen it several times that mostly when it happens like this, the chances of price getting to the target is very high. Okay, but as I'm indicating, the day is not good for me. Okay, so the day is not good for me because I've taken a trade on Monday mornings that I mostly get a lot of fake out. So I'm now cautious, or I'm very careful. I don't take trades on Monday morning. So if it happens, the H4 close and the zone is not that big too as well for you to get a lot of pips. So it's like 18 pips, 17 pips. So let's see. But I'll be waiting for the time that I'm going to be taking trades is when the H4 candle close. That is when I'll be looking for trade opportunity on Euro card. Okay, that's when I'll be. So it has even already started moving for a sell. Because it's the same thing that happened on GBP card the other time, last Thursday. It's the same thing. This one too, there was a daily zone over here where price wasn't able to close below. But I think with that one, I even took the same trade setup and also happened on Euro AUD. That is when I took the Euro AUD one and left. So this trade. So I took this one and I just forget about GBP card. So this one too, the same thing happened. So you see, the market is doing the same thing. The market is doing the same thing every week. It's like it has now become a past question. So you see a point where maybe you are going to write an exams, maybe external exams, and you go to the examination. Well, you notice that this question, my school, you solved all these things. You've already solved all these questions. That is when you start smiling. That is when you start laughing. You be on the paper and you start laughing, start smiling because the questions are easy. So now is the same trading. That is how trading has become to me. I'm seeing the same thing over and over and over and over again. It is not hard to me. It is not difficult because I've now known the pattern that works for me. You get it? I've already shown you this same thing happening on GBP card and Euro AUD. It's the same setups that I've been taking. GBP card, last time this one happened and it flipped. Euro AUD 2 is the same thing that happened on Euro AUD. The same pattern, if you have been watching me, I've been taking the same pattern over and it's the same thing that happened on Euro AUD. And what again? I think the same thing to happen on NZD to the same thing happened over here last Friday. It's the same thing happening over here. So the market has become like Pascal. It has become past question. The same thing is happening. When you come to the market, it's the same thing. So at this point, what I have to do is what? I have to scale. The scaling is by increasing my lot size so that I will earn big. That is what I have to do now because I'm seeing the same thing happening over and over and over and over again. Okay, so last Friday too, I took this buy sell over here, GBP USD. I took this thing over here. So you just break and retest. That is simple. That is what all I do. Break, retest, find an entry. Break, retest, find an entry. It's the same thing. I took a sell to last Friday. I took a sell to over here. Simple stuffs. Okay. So Euro card is doing the same thing over here. But at this point, as I indicated, the zone is kind of choked. The zone is not that big because I mostly want bigger zones. Bigger zones are when you get like you get a good enough pips. You can be able to manage the trade and other stuff. So let's see, you're having like 1 hour for this candle to close. So if this candle happens to close maybe give us a long wick over here, you find an entry by going to the lower time frame. If it gives us a long wick, it is going to be like exhaustion. Okay, it's going to be like exhaustion candle. Okay, it's going to be like an exhaustion candle. So if you see a long wick like this, you will go to the lower time frame. Okay, that is when you will go to the lower time frame to find an entry. So the entry is going to be, as I indicated, you see, I stated it clearly that mostly when you see the long wick, it tells you that what? It tells you the long wick mostly indicates what? Pullbacks. So when you move to the lower time frame, that is where we are going to be looking for entries. Okay. So if you move to the lower time frames, it is going to be something like this. So you wait for confirmation by waiting for a candle to close, then we take the sell. You get it? Then we take, if you look at the level that you'll be trading on to, the daily time frame is very strong. So our stop loss might be below here. This is where our stop loss is going to be. The stop loss is going to be below here. If you look here, if you look at your left, we're having this. So some people, this weekend I was just going through. So mostly when we are having clean candles over here, so but we are having this clean zone over here. Okay, so the chances that price will fill the whole of what, there was no support or resistances over here, so price is going to fill the whole of this zone. Don't complicate things, okay, by giving, it is not about the big terminologies you give to trading. That is what makes you smart. That is what is going to make you money. It is about doing what works. That is very simple. It is not about the big terminologies. It is not about the big words trying to indicate something to prove to people that you are smart. It is not like that. Okay, those who even make more money don't do a lot on their chart. So you see, if you have been following me for long, I don't do, the only thing I do is what, horizontal lines. That is the only thing I draw on my chart, horizontal lines. And what I have it in mind, my structure. Most of what I do on the chart is in my mind, not on the chart. You get it? Most of the things that I do, most of the reason I consider before taking a trade is inside my mind, not on the chart. Okay, it's inside my mind, not on the chart. So at this point, I'm waiting for H4. I would love to wait for H4 candle to close because the previous H4 candle closed below the daily zone. So at this point, what will give me proper confirmation is waiting for this candle to close. A pullback, okay, waiting for a bullish candle confirmation, then I will look for what? A sell. So Euro card is an instrument that has caught my attention. Okay, Euro card is something that has caught my attention, so that is what I'll be waiting for. That is what I'll be waiting for. Then we take advantage of the zone, but I would love my stop loss to be below the previous daily and H4 lows, highs. Okay, I would love my stop loss, so it's like something like 1-to-1. So this is what I would love to see. But before that, I'll have to wait for this candle to close. If this candle close, that is when I will be looking for a trade. So if you change it to the skeletal frame, you notice that the trend is what? A downtrend. So this point has been broken. So that's what I'll be waiting for on Euro card. I'm waiting for a pullback. Okay, so what I'm hoping for is this candle to close around this level. If this candle close around this level, that is when I'll be looking for a sell. Okay, so Euro card is on top of my watch list, and GBP card too. So let's hope and see. So it's the same thing that is happening on GBP card too. I was thinking maybe this candle is going to close below, then we take a sell too as well on GBP card. So let's clean everything and reanalyze it again. So at the monthly time frame on Euro, monthly time frame is what? So USD JPY. So Rosemary is saying USD JPY, USD. So let's finish with USD card, then you go to USD JPY. So seeing USD JPY is also doing the same thing. USD JPY is not doing the same. It's doing the same thing. USDJPY, are you going for a buy or a sell? Let me know. Rosemary, let me know in the chat box. Are you going for a buy or a sell? So one thing you need to know too is what? A sell. Why do you have to go for a sell? Whilst so this is what most people find it difficult. The structure, the daily time frame trend is what? The daily time frame trend is an uptrend. The daily time frame trend is an uptrend. H4 time frame trend is also an uptrend. Why do you want to sell? And at this point too, price has gotten to a very strong level. Okay, price has gotten to a very strong level. Let me reanalyze everything again. So USDJPY is something that I don't trade because of how tricky it is. So the daily time frame trend, we're having this rejectional level over here. You're having this rejectional level over here. So looking at the weekly time frame, with the weekly time frame trend, there was no reactional level. Okay, so there was another one reactional level over here. So looking at the daily time frame reactional level is over here. Yeah, so let's read the chart. So the trend is what? An uptrend. Price just, there was, let me indicate everything over here. You need to understand structure, Rosemary. So price at this point, price has broken out from the zone. So this is where we had a change. So let's start over here. So this candle, the moment this candle broke and closed over here, there was a change in trend or change of trend. Okay, we had a change of trend over here. There was a change of trend over here. The moment it broke the high, now the trend was, previously it was a downtrend, but the moment it broke above this one, the trend has now shifted to what? The trend has now shifted to an uptrend. You get it? So when the trend shifts, we are waiting for a pullback. Okay, price doesn't move in a straight line. It doesn't move straight forward. It moves and what? It's what? Reverse. It will rally up. It's pulled back over here. Then it is going. Okay, so let's see. So this is a pullback. Okay, so this is where maybe you'll be looking for an entry for a buy, but this is not what we are talking about. So you see, so now at this point, the trend again shifted to what? A downtrend. Okay, so you have the rules. If it is what? An uptrend and it's shifting to a downtrend, it should make higher high, come back and break the higher low. So this is where it shifted the trend to what? A downtrend. So the moment, so it has pulled back again. So this is where you'll be looking for a sell. You will look for confirmation. You don't just sell. You look for a confirmation. So price broke out from the level. So at this point, price has shifted to what? An uptrend again. You get it? Now the trend is an uptrend again. We are waiting for a pullback, then the continuation. So this is what is happening. So the daily time frame trend, so this is a pullback. So the daily time frame trend at this point is what? An uptrend. So let's look at the H4 time frame. So H4 time frame, based on reflecting on what we did, the H4 time frame at this point too is what? A downtrend. Price just broke out. It's currently pulling back. Okay, it's currently pulling back. So you have to look for a buy, not a sell. Okay, you have to look for, it's a short scalp. Now a short scalp, what time frame are you focusing on? So you see, you need to find something. You need to, a short scalp as in how? What time frame are you focusing on? Time frame. So certain things are very important when it comes to your success in trading. Certain things are very important when it comes to your success in trading. Some of the things include some of the things that is going to maybe enhance your success in trading includes the time frame you focus on. The pair you trade is also important. You get it? The time frame you trade is a factor. The pair you trade or the instrument you trade is also a factor. Sometimes everything can work. Your system, you don't have problem with your system and those things. You go and trade some pair and you will be losing. You get it? And sometimes your system will be perfect, everything will be on point, but the time frame you are focusing on is the reason you are losing trade. You get it? Might be the reason you are losing trade. So consider these two things. The pair you trade, the time frame you mostly focus on is a factor. So always pay attention to these things. Okay, always pay attention to this thing. So I don't see any short-term sell or any short-term, but I don't know the reason. And even all the lower time frames are even moving up. So Rosemary, you need to do your works. You need to do all the lower time frames. See, the lower time frame structure is an uptrend. I'm not saying it can't sell. It can sell, but at long run, you are not going to be successful with this projection or this speculation. Okay, at long run, you are not going to be successful because this one is just a complex structure. You were part of the training the other time. This is just a complex structure. Price just pulled back like this. So this is how it's doing. So I'm expecting a continuation. So this is how it looks like. Okay, so the trend is still, so far as it hasn't broken this one. Okay, so far as it hasn't broken and it just did one, it's just a pullback. This is just a complex structure. Okay, so understand this. Yeah, so I don't see a sell. I see a buy, but maybe price will come to this level, this rejectional levels, then it will continue moving up. So as I'm saying with GBP card, let's talk about GBP card. So on GBP card, this is what you're expecting to. I'm expecting to be taking a buy when the H4 close. I'm expecting to take a sell rather. So looking at the weekly time frame. So with the weekly time frame, these are the various levels that I'm expecting price to come to this level. So this will be the last pair you analyze. So looking at there was another reactional level over here. So the daily time frame trend is what? The daily time frame trend is clearly what? A downtrend. So this is the reactional level. So at the daily time frame, we are waiting for a pullback. Then we go in for a sell. So moving to the H4 time frame. Yeah, so price is currently closing below. So this is where maybe I'll be looking for a sell. So at the H4 time frame, this is the various reactional levels. So at this point, if this candle closed below this level, what I'll be doing is maybe looking for an entry. Okay, if price shifts trend, then I'll be looking for a sell on USD GBP card. So yeah, but you see, I'm waiting for the H4 to close. If the H4 close, then I'll be looking for a sell. Because all the major time frames are pointing. down. We are hoping Monday there will be. So what's the range? The range is going to be like so it's enough. 20 pips range is enough. So you are going to be looking for a sell on GBP card. So you are waiting for it's left. You are having like 55 minutes for the closure of the candle. So Euro card has already taken off. As you indicated. But as I said, the timing is very important. So we let it go. Euro card has already taken. So this one, this kind of setup, I've been seeing it over and over again. As I'm saying, even though it's close below, last time it happened, so I'm kind of have to just be taking it. Okay, even though the H4 closed below, but it mostly plays out more of most of the times it mostly plays out. Okay, so maybe next time I will be taking it. But I'm waiting for a GBP card. GBP card is what I'm waiting for to take. Let's see how it goes. If it flips, if the H4 break above this one, then I will not be able to take it. But if the H4 close bearish, that is when I'll be looking for an entry. Or if the H4 close below, I'll be looking for a shift in trend at the lower time frame. Okay, a shift in trend at the lower time frame that will take a sell. That's what I'll be looking for to take this morning. So let's look at so GBP Euro card has already played out. So now GBP card should come on top. So let's see GBP USD too. So GBP USD is kind of it's in range. It's in a range now. Euro NZD too has also gotten to a support level. So there was no trade. AUD JPY is also in a range at this point, so there was no trade on AUD JPY for me. There was no trade. Euro AUD, let me look left. So Euro AUD is kind of looking good. So let me look at the daily time frame. Yeah. So imagine last week we still continue holding. If you notice last week you got a trade over here. Okay, we had a trade over here. So imagine maybe we continue holding this one. But this one, so the daily time frame, let me check the weekly time frame. The weekly has broken. So at this point, price has broken out from the zone. So taking the continuation, this one can be a continuation trade. Taking the continuation. Okay, if this candle close, maybe you can get a continuation of the trend to this level. But price, so this is 109 pips. 109 pips zone. Because the chances that price will continue moving up is moving down over here because there was clean zone over here. Okay, so you will find an entry too on Euro AUD at this point. Let me see how the candle. But it's kind of like a breakout. Okay, it's kind of a breakout. The stop loss is going to be very wide. It's kind of, so maybe it will be nice if it pulls back over here. Then we take the continuation. But let's see how it goes. So it's also looking good. Euro AUD is also looking good. So let me bring it on top. AUD card. Okay, so AUD card is kind of a breakout. Currently what approaching this rejectional level. GBP card, there was no entry for me. NZD card to no entry. USD CHF. Let me check the daily. The daily at this point is an uptrend. So not interested in this. So what I'll be waiting for, if it happens, it gives us a support. The H4 gives us a support, a resistance. Maybe I will be looking for a sell. But at this point, no proper confirmation. USD card is kind of printing barcode. So Euro JPY is also in an uptrend, but is doing the same thing as USD JPY. So at this point too, there was no trade for me. So NZD JPY is also in the range. So the one I'm looking forward to be taking is what? If GBP card close below, that is when I'll be looking. So at this point, what it's doing, I'm not interested. I want it to close below this zone before I'll go in for a sell. I'll be looking for a sell. See, if it's closed below, doesn't mean I'm going to take it instantly. I have to look for confirmation. So you need to get this one in your head. Okay. or maybe Euro card can also give an opportunity. So let's see how it goes. All right. So Euro card can also, the way it is printing, it can give an opportunity again. If the H4 close, we're having like 14. If the H4 close below this one, I'll be looking for a sell by moving to the lower time frames. Then I'll look for a sell. So let's see how it goes with the candle close. So if you have any question, kindly drop it in the chat box. So this is my morning routine. This is what I do every day. This is how I scout for trade opportunities. Okay, this is how I scout for trade opportunity. With Euro AUD, if I'm taking a sell, I think it's going to be like, it's kind of high to me. Price has really moved, even though it's indicating a sell. Okay, it's indicating a sell, but I would love to wait for a pullback for me to get a discounted price. Okay, if you are selling and you sell it at a very high, if you are selling, you need to sell it at a very high price. Price is kind of very low to me, based on what the reactional level. It's kind of low to me. I don't want this kind of trade early morning Monday. Monday, my first trade should be a win. So that's what I'm looking forward to be taking. So let's see how it goes. So GBP card and Euro card is what I'm interested in. Maybe I'll be taking, but it depends. By the way, it is even closing. It might close above and it will not give opportunity. But it's Monday, so we have Tuesday, we have Wednesday, you have more time. You have more time. So let's see. You are not going to rush anything over here. You are just going to be cool, calm, but most of from the whole of last month, I start taking trades from Tuesdays, and I've been getting nice opportunities. So Mondays, I'm kind of even taking it out of my trading plan, not taking trades, and I start hitting it on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and Friday morning too. If I get a nice setup, I take. But I don't risk the whole of my profit I've gotten from Mondays and Tuesdays, Wednesdays. I risk some portion of my profit. Fridays, if I've already gotten profits on my Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, don't risk all your profit on Fridays. You get it? Don't risk your profit, the whole of your profit on Fridays. Make sure you are risking some insignificant percentage on Friday so that it will not affect or ruin all your profits you've made on. You struggle to get from the active weeks, active days. Yeah, so that's what I'm expecting. So maybe GBP card might not do what I'm expecting it to do. Euro card too might not do what I'm expecting it to do. So let's see how it goes. We are still waiting for the right setups or right opportunity to happen. So you see US 30, as I indicated, it is doing exactly what we said. So this is where you could have taken the trade. So what do you have to call me? Call me Forex God. Stop playing, bro. You see, US 30 is doing the same thing. So, as I said, the market has turned past question to me. If you joined me earlier, you'll notice that what I said exactly on US 30 is happening. I told you this pullback. This is a pullback. It's an exhaustion. So, for us to take a trade, we need to wait for what? We need to wait for a support to be created on the lower time frame. As I even indicated, I did a hidden. I brought out a hidden line over here, waiting for price to move up. Call me for Forex God. So all these things are past questions, okay? Because you have been solving it in the past. Okay, so one thing about past question too is sometimes you can give an answer, but the examiner who is going to mark your question can sometimes your answers can't favor him. So that is the market condition. Sometimes the same thing will appear, but the market can decide to disobey what has been happening in the past. That doesn't mean you have to change it. Okay, that doesn't mean you have to change it. The same thing has happened again. So what is happening over here? What is happening over here is the same trade that happened on GBP card. You people are not paying attention. See, this trade, you remember I took it. Call me Forest God. Call me. Call me The market god. Call me the market god. So it's the same thing over here. If you can notice, this thing that is happening over here is the same thing we are seeing on US 30 this morning. It's the same thing we are seeing on US 30 this morning. It's the same thing we are seeing over here. You get me? So the GBP card, remember I took it. So as I said, I don't trade the indices, so I don't know how to calculate the pips, how it works and those things. You get it? I've not studied the movements because I've been seeing, I think I have to have been looking at it, especially on Nasdaq, for instance. We mostly get nice moves on Nasdaq. The pip calculation, all those things I don't know on US 30, so I don't have to be taking it. So you see how nice it is. Look, the entry is looking. You see how nice it is. So this one has moved like 24 pips. So we are hoping price is going to get to this level. So we said it exactly when I came to the chart. I explained everything to you guys exactly. When price was forming the bearish candle, I told you the only time we can take a buy is when price has given us a hand. Okay, I said when price give us a hand, price should give us a signal that it is about to head off. It's about to move up, and it is happening exactly. Okay, so guys, if you don't have any question, kindly drop it in the chat box. You have like 3 minutes for us to leave. If you have any question, kindly let me know. So it's Monday, so don't rush things. Make sure you get something that is in your playbook. So if you are here and you don't have a playbook, trading is going to be very difficult for you. Okay, so if you are not part of the training, if you have already joined my bootcamp before and you still don't get it, it's like maybe coming again. Okay, it's like coming to write remedials. You can come again. You can contact me. I'll add you. So I think this is the best time because you have already rehearsed, because you have already practiced, and you know how the market moves, the difficulties. I think this time too, when you come around, you can ask questions. These are the times that maybe at the initial point you didn't understand what is going on. But this time, I think if you come around, you can even ask questions. Okay, if you can even ask better questions that is bothering you since you have putting it into practice. So those who want to come for the remedials, those who want to come, if I've already joined my bootcamp before and you want to come for remedials again, you can come. You are welcome. Okay, you can send me message. We arrange on how you can go by it, and we take it from there. Okay, so don't just come around. Just joined, and I think for now things are going to be more clearer than it's going to be more. You are going to get the clarity as compared to the previous one. So because you were new to it, so it's kind of confusing, but you can come again. It's not a problem. You can come again. You have been seeing me predicting the market back to back. As I was saying last week, we had back to back wins. Okay, so if you have any question, kindly drop it in the chat box. Let me talk about it before I leave. You have like less than 1 minute. So those who have not registered, book their seats in the upcoming workshop. This thing, I don't think we have someone who will be having forget about the money. Those things are secondary. Okay, because this money you are paying to me, someone just called me that he paid getting to, if you're in Ghana, like 1,500 to someone, and the call that I received this morning, that was what the person was talking about. You get it? So forget about the money you are paying to me. I've wasted a lot of years to learn this thing, so I don't have to teach you for free. So just pay and let's take it from there. And forget about money. I can trade. I know how to trade. You get it? I can trade and make money. It's not about your money, your token you are paying. I can trade and make money. I know how to teach too as well. You were here and I analyzed this one and it's playing out. So it's not about the money, I can trade. So if you are ready, you want to join, kindly chat me. My number is in the description box. You chat me on WhatsApp, you take it from there. If you have not subscribed to the channel, to kindly do well, subscribe to the channel. If you have not given a like to the stream, to kindly do well and give a like to the stream as well. Kindly do well and give a like to the stream. Okay, so if there's no question, GBP card, Euro card, it's not, it's even, so I don't think this one will play out this morning. But maybe if you don't get it during the New York Stock Exchange, you can get opportunity. All right, so guys, see you all same time. I will let you. So just put the channel on all notification. Anytime I come online, you get to know that I'm online. Okay, you get to know I'm online. So as I'm saying, the pair that you are keeping an eye on is GBP card, but I'm very sure it's not going to play out. It is just invalidating, but you don't lose anything. What you're expecting is this one to close below before you go in. So if it happens, it does the opposite. We don't lose anything. You get it? We don't lose anything. So US 30 is playing out effectively. Effective. So let's see gold too. Okay. As I'm saying, gold, you're expecting it to close below, but you didn't see something of that sort. So I'm not interested in any buy on gold unless this candle has closed. Wait for a pullback, then you're going for what? You're going for a sell, a buy rather. So on Euro AUD, I think at this point, price is kind of very low. If you are buying, you need to buy at a very high price. Price is very low, so I'm not interested in this sell because price is very, very low. Okay, so I'm not interested in this sell. Unless price pull back, give us some correct entry before you go in for. All right, guys. See you all same time. Bye bye.